During the college entrance exam, my younger sister used a swapping talisman to exchange our answer sheets. When the college entrance exam results came out, she went crazy, and I laughed. Aren't you supposed to be a top student? How did you only score 39 points? She didn't know that I was actually academically hopeless, and scoring 39 points was already my limit. My younger sister Helen and I are twins. There were complications during her birth, so Mom has always doted on her especially. My sister didn't want to study, so she secretly obtained an exchange talisman from someone, a charm that would allow her to swap anything of mine for her own. From that day onward, my mother forced me to study relentlessly, insisting I complete my homework even when running a 104 degrees Fahrenheit fever. I once passed out from exhaustion while solving problems locked in a dark storeroom, only to be revived by my mother throwing a bucket of water on me, lazing around every day, with this attitude. How do you expect to get into Harvard University? Under my mother's devilish supervision, I became a top student. Even though I ranked first in the entire school, she and my father wouldn't spare me a second glance. In contrast, my younger sister didn't have to do anything yet received all our parents' doting affection. Mom even dressed her up like a beautiful little princess, free from any academic worries. My younger sister became the dream girl and little princess for all the boys at school. With the college entrance exams approaching, Mom locked me in the dark little room again to do homework and study. In the June heat, the temperature inside the room was nearly 40 degrees Celsius. Sweat dripped into my eyes, stinging painfully. Through the door crack, I saw Dad helping my sister shop online in the living room. He sighed. If only Helen could achieve half of Daisy's academic performance. Mom smiled and comforted Dad. What can you tell about a child at this age? Until the college entrance exams are over, no one can say our Helen won't get into a good school. Mom turned to ask her younger daughter, which school do you want to attend? My younger sister said firmly, I want to go to Harvard University. Mom happily fed my sister a piece of watermelon. Our Helen has such good judgment. When the time comes, you'll be invincible, beautiful and a top student. Your father and I are counting on you. Dad also chuckled. If you get into Harvard, I'll buy you a car. We can't let our little princess be deprived of anything. Their figures blurred in my vision, so I quickly put on my universal glasses and finished the test paper before me. Mom, I've finished the test. Carrying the test paper, I went to the living room, interrupting their warm conversation. My mother picked up the answer sheet disapprovingly, muttering, if you get even one question wrong, you're skipping dinner tonight. All you ever do is slack off. She and my dad checked the answers 3 times together, then gave me an incredulous look. You got lucky. None of the questions on this test were difficult. My younger sister looked at me meaningfully. Sis, getting into Harvard depends on luck. Good grades don't guarantee admission. I'd known about their scheme for a long time. To avoid alerting the enemy, I pretended to be scared and said, got it. I'll definitely get into university. My mother was very satisfied with my answer. Don't get too proud either. You should aim for Harvard University like your sister, or I'll beat you to death. Seeming displeased with my confidence, Mom pulled out 3 more test papers. Finish these before eating. We're taking your sister out to relieve some stress. My younger sister cheered excitedly. Yay, I want to eat at that 5-star Michelin restaurant. All my classmates dine there. All right, whatever you want to eat. Your father and I will take you. Considering the upcoming college entrance exams, I thought even if Mom favored her more, she'd still consider my feelings, so I tentatively asked, Mom, can I go too? I was met with a scolding from her. Are you blind? Can't you see the exams are right around the corner? Instead of staying home to study, you're thinking about going out to play. How did I end up with such a worthless child like you? My father glared at me fiercely. Do you think my money grows on trees? Damn it. You brainless idiot. Even though we took the college entrance exam on the same day, even though we were born to the same parents, I seemed destined to be Helen's stepping stone. No one cared whether I was under pressure or not. I am exactly like my name suggests, Daisy, meaning superfluous. Years of accumulated disappointment turned into knives at this moment, severing all my attachment to this family. I fell asleep while doing my homework, and in my dream, the man in black said to me again, the omnipotent glasses will stop working after the college entrance exam, so you must make the most of this opportunity. Ever since I started school, I've had a pair of omnipotent glasses. When I wear them, I can solve any problem. Thanks to these glasses, I became a top student. As the college entrance exam drew nearer, my mother pushed me even harder, increasing my daily workload from 3 test papers to 7. The challenges kept getting tougher each time. But none could stump me. I managed to bluff my way through with my all-purpose glasses. I tried my best to act like a top student, but my mom still got a call from the school asking her to come in. She scolded me non-stop all the way from home to school. How did I end up with such a worthless child? You never study properly. What exactly do you want? Have you even looked at yourself in the mirror? Think you can make a living off your face like your sister? If you don't get into Harvard University, I'll skin you alive. Even at school, she wouldn't stop, completely disregarding the strange looks from classmates around us. I've grown accustomed to her verbal abuse. After all, I'm just a tool taking exams in my sister's place. As soon as we entered the dean's office, my mother kicked me so hard that I fell to my knees. My mother roared, "You wretched girl, hurry up and apologize to your teacher," besides the homeroom teacher. My younger sister and my arch-rival Bruce were also in the office. Bruce looked at me with shock in his eyes. He probably never expected that I, who always crushed him academically, would be treated like this normally. The homeroom teacher was taken aback for a moment, then immediately helped me up. "Mrs. Daisy, what are you doing?" My mother forced a smile. "Didn't you call me here because this wretched girl's grades slipped and she failed your expectations?" The teacher quickly explained. "No. It's about Helen." My mother let out an "oh," then asked nervously, "What's wrong with my Helen?" Bruce immediately spoke up. "Auntie, please keep your daughter in check. The college entrance exams are coming up. Tell her to stop harassing me." Helen's eyes brimmed with tears. Looking pitifully vulnerable, "I just like you and want to be with you. How can that count as harassment?" Bruce looked utterly shocked. "Are you out of your mind? My presence has always been quite low-key, and right now I'm just enjoying the drama." Helen has been chasing Bruce for quite some time now. From delivering breakfast to camping outside his classroom, she comes up with new tricks every day. This has left Bruce inexplicably isolated, sometimes even morally pressured. When she couldn't make progress, my mom even gave her advice. "They say it's easier for a woman to chase a man. It's just a thin veil. Bruce must be shy, so she shouldn't give up." After all, Bruce's family is a well-known wealthy household in our area, and Bruce himself is a top student. Though he's always been ranked below me, I'm the perpetual first place, while he's eternally second. Helen has been pursuing him for so long. Yet Bruce remains unmoved. I couldn't help but glance at Bruce curiously. And coincidentally, he was looking at me too. Our gazes held mutual sympathy. "But I don't like you. Your behavior has already crossed into harassment," Helen pressed on relentlessly. "Then what type do you like?" Bruce suddenly looked at me and said mischievously, "Someone like her, a top student." My younger sister roared furiously, "No, everything of hers belongs to me. I'll be the one getting into Harvard University in the future, because I have," before she could finish speaking. My mother abruptly covered her mouth. My mother's strange behavior left everyone present utterly baffled. Only I knew the truth behind it. Seeing everyone staring at her, she flew into a humiliated rage and swung her hand to slap me. "You little slut, instead of studying properly at school, all you know is how to seduce men." Bruce stepped in front of me. "Auntie, are you sure you're hitting the right person?" My mother declared righteously. Her younger sister was corrupted by her. "Don't be fooled by her quiet demeanor. She's rotten to the core. That's how it's always been at home. No matter whose fault it was always mine." When she splashed dirty water on me, my heart had already gone numb with pain. Perhaps I was picked up from somewhere. Even the homeroom teacher couldn't stand it anymore and shielded me, saying, "Mrs. James, your daughter performs exceptionally well at school. Please cherish such an outstanding student, just an unwanted money-losing burden." The homeroom teacher, fearing my mother might say something even more hurtful that could affect my college entrance exams, had me leave first. Thanks to Bruce's kindness, when I returned home from school and opened my room, it was a complete mess, with the words, "Die, bitch," scrawled on the wall in red paint. The blanket on the bed was soaking wet and emitted a foul odor. The electric fan had been smashed by brute force, and even the few clothes I owned were full of holes. There was no need to guess. It was clearly Helen's doing. Ever since I was little, it's been like this. Whenever she's slightly displeased, she takes it out on me. She makes me wash her socks and even kneel to take off her shoes. She says, "This is the treatment a princess deserves." When I disagreed, my mother grabbed me by the ear and scolded me. "You're the older sister. You should take care of your younger sister like this." I refused to eat the bread Helen had stepped on. So my mother denied me food. Starving beyond endurance, I ate from the trash bin and ended up hospitalized with severe food poisoning, nearly losing my life. Memories flooded before my eyes one after another. I couldn't take it anymore, nor did I need to endure any longer. Clutching my clothes and blanket, I kicked open the door to Helen's room. "Apologize," she said nonchalantly. Why should I, you ugly freak? How dare you steal my man? You're lucky I didn't kill you, so you won't apologize. I threw the blanket directly at her and went all out. While hitting her, I cursed, your man, have you even looked at what kind of brain you've got? You think just because you're pretty you can marry into a wealthy family. At best, you'd be nothing more than a vase in their household, an uncultured vase. I poured out all the grievances she'd caused me over the years in one furious outburst. By the time my mother pulled us apart, Helen's face was swollen from my slaps, seeing this scene. My mother raised her hand to strike me again. I didn't dodge either. Mom, if you hit me again, I won't go to the college entrance exams. Let's see who'll get you that Harvard University admission you want. I didn't dare resist before because I was still too young. Now with just days left before the exams, I'm certain my mother wouldn't gamble with Helen's future out of spite. Sure enough, my mother's hand froze midair. Are you threatening me? I didn't, I'm telling the truth. Which daughter-in-law from wealthy families isn't highly educated and intelligent? Why does Bruce like me? Precisely because I excel academically and am smart. With just a few words, I made my mother lower her raised arm. She glared at me fiercely. If you don't get into Harvard University, I'll beat you to death. I smiled and said, Mom, don't worry, I'll definitely get into Harvard, but I have one condition. My mother asked, you dare negotiate terms with me? If it weren't for Helen, she probably would have beaten me until my mouth bled at my very first word. I glanced at Helen's bruised and swollen face from my beating, then stated my terms with a smile. I want air conditioning installed in my room, improved meals, and absolutely no disturbances during my sleep or rest. Otherwise, I can't guarantee I'll get into Harvard University. After all, exam knowledge changes in the blink of an eye. My mom gritted her teeth before reluctantly agreeing. Late at night outside the campus, Bruce looked at me with a mischievous grin. Silly fish, what's wrong? Got beaten when you went back? Do I look like someone who'd get beaten? I retorted. Bruce's grin grew even more wicked. Weren't you beaten pretty badly before? You said it yourself. That was before. Bruce slipped one hand into his pocket. Go on, why'd you call me out so late? I need you to deliver something to Helen for me during the college entrance exams. That was why I'd asked Bruce to meet me. Bruce scoffed. Fine, but I've got one question first. I rolled my eyes at him. Why are you so demanding? You're quite the hypocrite. You were all nice when you needed my help, but now that I'm asking you questions, you're acting all high and mighty. I said calmly, it's not like you're just finding out what kind of person I am today. Yeah. First time I saw someone so brazenly letting me copy her test answers, only to get a few multiple choice questions right by sheer luck. I wonder who gave you that kind of confidence. I've known Bruce since middle school. Back then, he was still an academic underachiever, but due to family connections, he was naturally assigned to sit beside me, the top student in our grade. During one exam, I forgot to bring my universal glasses, and as a result, we both ended up scoring 26 points, and that was only because we guessed right on a few multiple-choice questions. Ever since then, Bruce has remained skeptical about me being a top student. I feel a bit embarrassed. Even Homer sometimes nods, under my guidance. Haven't you become a top student now? Cut the nonsense. When are you planning to leave that house? Bruce asked. After the college entrance exams. That would be my final chance, my moment to break free from this wretched home and start anew. Bruce kept looking at me. I knew he was skeptical about me being a top student. He asked again, where do you want to go for college? The night was hazy, and Bruce lowered his eyes, his thick, long lashes veiling his bright gaze. I pretended to be casual and replied, wherever the wind takes me. Hey, you're no fun. What's the big deal about telling me your school's name? Afraid we'll end up being alumni again? Bruce clicked his tongue repeatedly. Though we were both teenagers, having grown up in that kind of environment made me exceptionally good at reading people. No matter how well Bruce tried to hide it, I saw right through him. I didn't call him out, just smiled and said, then let's make it Harvard. By then, I'll be Harvard's talented girl too. After parting ways with Bruce, I quietly climbed through the window of the dark room just in time to see my mother entering Helen's room. Helen, can't we use this thing now? Helen asked resentfully. Mom, didn't you see how arrogant she was today? Just because she's smart and scored first in a few grade exams. What's so great about that? Don't be foolish. Save this for the college entrance exams. When the time comes, you'll be the one going to Harvard University. Helen said discontentedly. It's the same if I use it now anyway. There are only a few days left until the college entrance exam. My mother continued to stop her. The exam questions change unpredictably. can you guarantee you'll know them all? Helen hesitated. My mother kept persuading. Anyway, there are only a few days left until the exam, just bear with it a little longer. Once the exam is over, I'll send that worthless girl to a factory or marry her off to someone. Yes, sell her to that sweatshop. Helen hated me to the core. I quietly returned to my room and took out my all-purpose glasses. With these, getting into Harvard University would be a piece of cake. The college entrance exam arrived as scheduled. Early in the morning, Helen came out of her room cheerfully, looking at me with smug satisfaction. Sis, who knows which one of us will get into Harvard? Mom shot her a glare. You'd better keep quiet. My younger sister pouted defiantly, her clothes carrying the faint scent of burnt paper. At the exam hall entrance, I spotted Bruce waiting immediately. He too was wearing black-framed glasses. My mother rarely gave me a favorable look. Damn girl, study hard. Even if you get into Harvard, I'll have the money to send you there. Got it, I'll do my best, I assured my mother. Meanwhile, Helen stood bashfully before Bruce. Brother Bruce, what did you want to tell me? I'm giving this to you, matching couple glasses. You must wear them at all times from now on. Bruce pointed deliberately at his own black-framed glasses. With just one sentence, Helen was utterly charmed beyond words. You've finally noticed my outer beauty. Don't worry, I'll never take them off. Helen immediately put on the universal glasses and turned to show off to me. See, I told you no one likes an ugly duckling like you. I ignored her and swiped my ID card to enter the examination hall, without my all-purpose glasses. The test questions looked like gibberish to me, but I still confidently scribbled down answers, filling the entire paper. When the final subjects exam ended, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. My mother asked me cheerfully, how difficult did you find this exam? I shook my head. Not difficult. I finished all of them. Helen also muttered beside me. I don't know why, but those questions seemed as simple as 1 + 1 to me too. I couldn't help but finish them all. That night when I returned home, my mother had already packed my things. Since you're idle anyway and have no time, you might as well take this opportunity to work and earn some tuition money. Our family can't afford to support a college student like you. I've already contacted the factory for you. A few pieces of clothing wrapped in an old bedsheet. This was all I had accumulated in this house over more than a decade. Fine, I'll go tonight, I agreed readily. Tisk tsk. Some people still think they're actually good enough for Harvard. Look at our Harvard genius. About to go screw bolts. Helen sneered at me from beside the air conditioner. I shot back at her. The game isn't over yet. You're celebrating too soon. Helen still wanted to mock me a few more times, but I grabbed my things and slipped away quickly. Bruce was already waiting downstairs early in the morning. Here's your glasses back. I looked at those black-framed glasses. Keep them. I probably won't need them anymore. The college entrance exams were over. The all-purpose glasses had lost their magic, and now we were just waiting for the test results to come out. As expected, after the college entrance exam results came out, my phone was bombarded with calls. It wasn't until midnight that I finally turned on my phone, only to find it flooded with my mother's vicious curses and Helen's accusatory questions. Aren't you supposed to be a top student? How could you only score 39 points? Are you doing this to me on purpose? Compensate me for Harvard? Seeing Helen's barrage of accusations, I couldn't help but reply to her. Scoring 39 points was already my limit. You're quite lucky. After all, I hadn't randomly guessed correctly on a few multiple-choice questions, sparing her from ending up with 0 points total. Soon, Helen called. But I turned off my phone directly, since my father didn't care and my mother didn't love me. The family's attention toward me had waned, so I secretly transferred my household registration out without anyone knowing. Looking at the scores on the computer, it was within my expectations. I didn't go to Harvard University because all my good grades over the years were thanks to the all-purpose glasses. Instead, I chose an obscure university far, far away from home, working part-time during summer break to earn living expenses. My mom and her lot would sooner see me dead than give me a penny. Days spent working part-time, nights returning to the dorm to hit the books. Finally, just days before the semester began, I'd saved up enough living expenses to take my admission letter and report to school. My academic advisor couldn't fathom why someone with my grades would choose their institution, and for such an obscure major at that. I explained somewhat sheepishly, I'm interested in history. The counselor was momentarily taken aback. So, you chose archaeology? Yes, I replied without hesitation. After changing my phone number and 2 weeks into the semester, I saw Bruce on campus. He asked coldly, his words lashing out like a whip, didn't we agree to go to Harvard together? What are you doing holed up here? I replied guiltily. Do you really think with my score of 39 I could get into Harvard? Harvard? They wouldn't even take me as a security guard at Harvard. Bruce looked at me with narrowed eyes. You're already the top scholar, and still being modest. Stop mocking me. How did you actually find me? I asked Bruce, feeling somewhat worried inside, afraid that my parents might track me down here. Your sister told me. Bruce glanced at the time. They're probably already on their way here by now. Hearing that my mother was coming here, my heart skipped a beat, and my face turned deathly pale. I thought I had finally gotten rid of them, but they still managed to find me. Daisy, what's wrong? I shook my head. It's nothing. I'm afraid I can't stay in this place any longer. Don't be afraid. I'll help you. Bruce stood before me, as steadfast as the stone we dug out from the pit yesterday. I wasn't without a flutter of the heart, but some people are destined to be like the bright moon outside the window, admirable but untouchable. The next morning, while still lost in dreams, I received a call from my academic advisor saying my parents had come to the school looking for me. By the time I rushed over, my parents were holding up banners at the school gate. Daisy's college entrance exam results are fake. She cheated. Her actual score was only 39 points. My mother sat on the ground crying. She only became the top scorer because she stole her sister's grades. If your school doesn't hand her over, I'll come here every day to make trouble. Seeing me arrive, the counselor wiped sweat from his forehead. I'm sorry for causing trouble for the school. I originally thought that since I was so far from home and enrolled in such an obscure major, they wouldn't be able to find me. I had underestimated their shamelessness. Don't worry, James, the school will definitely handle this matter fairly. Fortunately, Bruce arrived at the school before them, giving me enough time to report my situation to the administration. Otherwise, seeing such a scene today would definitely leave me bewildered. There were even reporters from several media outlets at the door. As soon as I appeared, microphones were practically shoved in my face. Student James, is what your mother said true? Is it true that you often bully your sister at home and even threatened her with your life during the college entrance exams? My mother was screaming hysterically beside me. It's true. All of it's true. Hurry up and send her to prison so my Helen can attend Harvard University. Facing those accusatory voices, I sneered and asked them, do you not believe me? Or do you doubt the rigor of the examination hall and the professionalism of the invigilators? This single question left the reporters speechless. After all, national college entrance exam papers are kept strictly confidential throughout the entire process. Cheating on exams like this simply doesn't work in today's internet-savvy era. Another reporter asked, then why, given your college entrance exam scores, didn't you go to Harvard or Peking University and instead chose to study archaeology here? I calmly replied, what's wrong with liking to dig up graves? The reporter broke into a sweat, while my mother jumped a foot in the air. It's all because you used underhanded methods. You never behaved properly at school, seducing male classmates. Who knows who you've been secretly involved with? The fastest way to destroy someone is to spread sexual rumors about them. Even though I'm her own daughter, my mother casually spread such rumors about me without hesitation. Oh really? Who exactly have I been involved with? And how would that help me cheat on the college entrance exams? I fired back at her, but my mother couldn't explain why, so she just threw herself on the ground kicking and screaming, demanding that the school give her an explanation. Otherwise, she'd come make a scene every single day. I suppressed a smirk and warned her, go ahead and make your scene, as long as you don't mind the floor tiles burning your backside. You wretched little brat daring to laugh at me, I'll beat you to death. My mother still thought I was the same pushover I'd been before. I quickly dodged past and casually stuck out my foot to trip her, sending my mother tumbling face first into the dirt in an instant. Ouch, my teeth. It's bleeding, help. Hearing my mother's cries, Helen and my father, who had been hiding in the crowd watching the spectacle, quickly scurried away, terrified of embarrassment. After my mom's outburst, I actually ended up trending online, but my mom insisted I had cheated because, as Helen later recalled, all the answers she had scribbled down that day were correct. But precisely because of the swap talisman, those answers became mine. My mom even went live, tearfully complaining about how domineering I was at home, bullying my younger sister and even hitting my parents. My mother, missing her 2 front teeth, accused me. She threatened her sister into swapping exam papers, otherwise this year's provincial top scorer would have been my daughter. Netizen, LOL, what era does she think this is? Exam substitution still possible? What kind of family is this? Exactly. The exam papers are kept confidential throughout, with satellite tracking, police escorts, and AI proctoring. Did you think the college entrance exam was child's play? though James's emotional stability is truly impressive, perfect for archaeological grave digging. Someone boldly asked, "Do you think she might want to dig up her own ancestral grave?" My mother slammed the table anxiously. "If she dares touch a single grain of dirt from our family, I'll skin her alive." Modern netizens aren't easy to bully, posing sharp questions. "You claim they swapped exam papers, but they weren't even in the same exam hall. How did they manage to exchange papers?" My mother stammered and couldn't get the words out, but seeing the number of viewers in the live stream increasing, she decided to go all in, because my daughter used an exchange talisman, one I originally sought out for her. As soon as this answer came out, the netizens burst into laughter. "Auntie, I think you've lost your mind. We should believe in science. No one would believe that exchange charms exist in this world, and if I didn't have these all-seeing glasses, I wouldn't believe it either." Seeing that no one believed her, my mother grew anxious and started cursing loudly. "That's something my ancestors accumulated virtue to obtain. What do any of you know about it?" Netizens worked quickly, immediately digging up all the details about my family relationships, twins from the same mother, yet mom favors the younger sister and harshly scolds the elder. Is this moral decay or maternal perversion? Soon, the investigation team arrived, summoning my mother and Helen. My mother continued her hysterics. "Please, esteemed leaders, conduct a thorough investigation and clear my daughter's name." Helen also tearfully pleaded, "I wrote all the answers for my sister. I swear it's true." I maintained my composure. "Teachers, you may check the surveillance footage and compare notes. These are my past exam results. Compared to their unreasonable obstinacy, all my evidence proved that scoring so high was what I rightfully deserved. No matter how many people come to investigate, the outcome would remain the same." The investigation team tactfully suggested to me, "Student James, perhaps you should have your family take your mother to the hospital for a checkup." My mother was clearly dissatisfied with this outcome. She immediately grabbed the ashtray from the table and swung it at several people. "Since you've made sure my daughter can't go to school, I'll make sure you can't work either. You're only speaking up for her because that little bitch bribed you." I knew my mother had a somewhat obsessive personality, but I never expected her to go this crazy. Assault is illegal, and my mother ended up detained at the police station. My dad and Helen were both blocking my way. He shamelessly declared, "Daisy, your mother was arrested because of you. You'd better figure out a way to get her released." My father still wore a hostile expression as he issued his arrogant command, "Otherwise, don't even think about continuing your education." Helen chimed in from the side, "Exactly, it's all because of you. Otherwise, Mom wouldn't have ended up here. Isn't this just emotional blackmail? As if anyone couldn't do that." I also earnestly tried to persuade my father, "Dad, Mom has been your wife for so many years after all. If you take out the family's savings to compensate them and sign a letter of understanding, Mom might be released." My father glared, "All the family money has been spent on your education. Where would we get any more? Selling the house. Is my mom's place in your heart really less important than some property?" My dad glared, "If we sell the house, where am I supposed to live?" I shot back, "Mom's already locked up eating prison food, and you're still worried about the house." Helen chimed in loudly, "This is your fault. Why should we sell the house? The family home belongs to me. Nobody's selling anything." I tried to persuade Helen again, "By the way, didn't you fail your college entrance exams? Why not go work on an assembly line? The factories Mom contacted for me are still hiring. If you work hard for a few years, you can earn enough to bail Mom out. It's the same thing." That hit Helen right where it hurt. "You stole my academic results." Helen lunged at me, claws bared, but luckily Bruce pulled me out of harm's way just in time. Missing her first strike, Helen refused to back down and came at me again. "Mom was right. You're nothing but a jinx." Helen had been coddled since childhood and had never suffered such humiliation. She screamed and smashed everything in sight, including a newly unearthed artifact. Well, another one bites the dust. At this point, my dad stopped making a scene and started anxiously pulling at his hair. "Daisy, you're the college graduate in our family. What do you think we should do now?" I even felt a bit of schadenfreude. Pay the money, get them out. He wasn't anxious when my mom got detained, but when Helen was taken in, he grew genuinely worried and started scrambling for money everywhere, even selling the house, because bailing both women out ended up costing quite a sum. The three of them had a huge argument at the police station, accusing each other. My mother was so angry that she slapped Helen, who then ran out of the police station without looking and was hit by a car, ending up in the hospital with her legs crushed by a truck. My mother was immediately traumatized by the incident and completely lost her mind. What happened afterward remains unknown. as I applied to my school for fieldwork, packed my shovel, and prepared to head deep into the mountains. Bruce grabbed me abruptly. "You're just going to run away like this, or what?" I shot back. At this point, I had no choice but to come clean. "Let me tell you the truth, I'm actually a total slacker. All those high scores before, just me gaming the system. There's no way I'm getting into Harvard." Bruce scoffed. "You think I didn't know? All your secrets were hidden in those glasses. Without them, you're just a fallen genius." Seeing I didn't defend myself, he grew anxious. "Then why did you lie to me back then, saying you were going to Harvard?" I smiled and said, "Because, I just said it casually." Bruce pressed his lips together, his eyes shining brightly. "Silly fish, actually I really like." "Stop." I cut off Bruce's words and solemnly told him, "Liking someone is useless to me. My life goal is to never marry or have children, to love myself well, and do what I enjoy. I don't have a brilliant mind nor extraordinary beauty. Even my title as a top student was given to me by those all-powerful glasses." Bruce asked disappointedly, "Are you really not considering dating me?" "No consideration," I refused outright. I think if I'd been born into an ordinary, normal family, I might have yearned for love, but I grew up mired in filth, and now that I've finally broken free, I just want to live for myself. Excavating an ancient tomb can take anywhere from a few months to a year or two. When I returned with my advisor after finishing the dig, standing before the strangely familiar school gates, I felt an indescribable sense of liberation and ease. The wind of freedom had finally blown my way. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. The beloved younger sister is a silly sweetheart. The night before the college entrance exam, I reminded her to keep quiet and not disturb my rest. As a result, she gave me an overdose of sleeping pills to ensure I had a good sleep. Not only did I miss the exam, but I also had to go to the hospital to get my stomach pumped. I broke down and confronted her. Her parents blocked her way, saying I shouldn't be so harsh on my little sister. The younger sister choked back sobs. "I'm sorry, sis. I just wanted you to sleep better." I didn't know it would make you oversleep." My brother even pointed at me and yelled, "Younger sister is doing this for your own good. Who are you giving attitude to? Though it's your own fault for not being careful. You couldn't even taste all those sleeping pills in the milk. How stupid can you be?" This left me severely depressed, feeling guilty. My sister volunteered to accompany me to an amusement park to help lift my spirits. During this time, I encountered a drunkard who kept shouting. Without hesitation, she rushed forward and scolded him for his lack of manners. Enraged, the drunkard charged at her with a knife. At the critical moment, my younger sister pulled me in front to shield herself from the blade. I bled too much and died untreated. At my grave, she slapped herself while crying, "I'm sorry, sister, I was too stupid. I didn't mean to." The family was busy comforting her, saying I was unlucky and it wasn't her fault. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day before the college entrance exam. "Dear sister, I warmed up some milk for you." My younger sister Lisa handed me the heated milk. Looking at this steaming cup of milk, every hair on my body stood on end. I've been reborn. My brother standing nearby affectionately ruffled her hair. "You're always the most thoughtful, little sister." I instinctively stepped back, creating distance. It was this glass of milk that plunged my past self into the abyss. In my past life, I not only missed the opportunity to take the college entrance exam. Later, rumors even spread that all my previous good grades had been achieved through cheating. Since cheating wasn't possible in the college entrance exam, Susan must have deliberately overdosed on sleeping pills to avoid being exposed, right? Lisa seized the opportunity to come forward and kindly explain things for me. Sister's grades were indeed consistently poor before, though I don't know why they improved so dramatically once she reached high school, but I believe sister must have had her reasons. Mom, Dad, and my brother also stepped forward, saying I never studied at home and had a rebellious temperament. This impartial testimony completely ruined my reputation. I was consequently expelled from school and became the laughingstock of everyone. The memory abruptly stopped, leaving my entire body trembling uncontrollably. Lisa pushed the glass of milk toward me once again. I reflexively pushed her away. Lisa immediately pouted in grievance. "Sister, what are you doing?" Lisa had been a crybaby since childhood, her tears coming at the slightest provocation, at the slightest displeasure. She would cry pitifully like pear blossoms bathed in rain. And the family would always instinctively suspect that I had bullied her. Lisa threw herself into her brother's arms. "Brother, why does sister always reject my kindness?" My brother hugged her and gave me a displeased look. Susan, can't you be more sensible? Drink it. I suddenly smiled and took the milk. Under Lisa's expectant gaze, I poured the milk into the sink. Lisa froze. The next second, she burst into tears with a loud, "Wah, sister, how could you trample on my feelings? If you didn't want to drink it, you could have just refused. Why did you have to pour it out?" My brother's heart ached unbearably. He shoved me aside and roared, "What's gotten into you, Susan?" Mom and Dad rushed over upon hearing the commotion. Seeing the spilled milk remnants in the sink and their youngest daughter crying pitifully, they both glared at me disapprovingly. "Susan, have you been bullying your sister again, you silly girl? Why can't you ever give us some peace of mind?" Lisa wiped her tears with a sob. "Mom, Dad, brother, don't blame sister. She might be suffering from pre-exam anxiety. That's why she treated me this way." Her brother let out a derisive laugh. "Pre-exam anxiety, you should be anxious. What good grades could someone as stupid as Susan possibly achieve?" Lisa avoided eye contact and remained silent. "Actually, my grades were excellent, yet I never dared to tell them, just because when I was little, I once ranked first in my grade. When I happily held my report card and shared my joy with them, all I got in return was blame. "You're being selfish, your little sister is upset about her poor grades, and here you are flaunting yours. How calculating of you. Even if you get good grades, you're just a nerdy bookworm, nowhere near as quick-witted as your sister, ranked first in your grade, probably cheated your way there, didn't you?" Later, I also learned that the reason they disliked me was because Mom had a difficult labor when giving birth to me. Mom hated me for nearly killing her, and my brother and father blamed me for nearly making them lose a family member. From then on, I became increasingly withdrawn. Only after dying once did I wake up. I wasn't wrong. Unconsciously clenching my fist, my voice grew firm. "I'm lactose intolerant. Have you forgotten? In my past life, I had used this same reason to reject Lisa. But to keep Lisa from feeling sad, my brother actually pried open my mouth and forced the milk down my throat. It left me writhing in excruciating stomach cramps, without the effects of sleeping pills. I'm afraid I wouldn't sleep a wink all night. I closed in on Lisa. "You knew I couldn't drink it, yet deliberately gave me warm milk to drink. What were you scheming?" As the words fell, my brother and parents were momentarily stunned. Lisa immediately pouted with a pitiful expression. I'm sorry. Sis, I forgot, I'm just a bit silly. Please don't hold it against me." Mother pulled Lisa into her arms, murmuring gentle words of comfort. Father also spoke up tenderly. "It's all right, sweetheart, don't blame yourself, you didn't mean to." Her brother rubbed his temples, his tone stiff. "Even so, couldn't you have said it nicely? Think how heartbroken little sister was when you just poured the milk away. You're just being oversensitive with this lactose intolerance nonsense. It's not like it'll kill you." I couldn't take it anymore and slapped my brother across the face. "Damn you, you know I have the college entrance exam tomorrow, yet you still force me to drink milk. Are you trying to ruin my life?" My brother stared in disbelief. "How dare you hit me?" My parents were shocked too. Lisa rushed forward to shield her brother, staring at me stubbornly and resentfully. "Sister, I'm the one who did wrong. If you want to hit someone, hit me, don't blame brother." The next second, a crisp slapping sound rang out. I shook my numb hand and said, "Since you insist, little sister, I'll have to oblige you." The living room fell silent for a moment. My father, finally reacting, kicked me hard from behind and roared, "You little bastard, how dare you lay hands on your sister?" The kick landed with tremendous force. I pitched forward head first, my skull striking the edge of the sink. Blood instantly gushed forth in torrents. Mom covered her mouth in fright and punched Dad's arm. "How could you hit him so hard?" Father couldn't bear to watch and came over to help me up. Brother, however, burst out laughing. "Serves you right." I brushed Father's hand away, clutching my bleeding wound as I retreated to my bedroom. Passing by Lisa, I caught her still innocent gaze from the corner of my eye. Bang. "Close the door, lock it." I stared expressionlessly at my blood-covered reflection in the mirror, yet smiled with unparalleled relief. "I'm back. I still have a chance." I quickly tended to my wounds and buried myself in sleep. I needed proper rest to face the next day's college entrance exams. To avoid any mishaps, I didn't even dare eat breakfast at home. Ignoring my parents' pleas to stay, I grabbed my exam supplies and hurried toward the test center. Before entering the examination hall, I received a call from Lisa. "Sis, why did you leave so quickly? Wait for me, I'll come see you off. Don't trouble yourself." "All right then, I won't disturb you anymore, sis." The call was disconnected. Somehow, I suddenly felt uneasy. Lisa is either stupid or malicious. Could she really give up that easily? Fortunately, nothing happened until the exam was over. There was another exam the next day. I still didn't dare eat anything unusual when I got home, shutting myself in my bedroom to study as soon as I arrived, at daybreak. I continued my march to the examination hall. After finishing the last exam, I walked out of the examination hall with a light heart and mind. However, when I reached the main gate of the exam venue, I saw a group of police officers staring at me with grave expressions. Lisa and my parents were standing among them. Even my homeroom teacher and the principal were there. I suddenly sensed something was wrong. Mom was the first to speak, her voice dripping with disappointment. "I thought you were just being a bit willful, but I never imagined you could sink to such moral depravity." Dad pointed at me, his teeth clenched in anger. "You're a disgrace. Don't bother studying anymore. Just get the hell back to the countryside and marry someone." My face was cold, my voice trembling uncontrollably. What exactly did I do wrong? Lisa rushed forward in tears, grabbing my hand. "Sis, stop being so stubborn. The pen you used for the exam is actually a cheating device. It has a tiny screen hidden in the cap." My mind went blank. A cheating device. Every pair of eyes in the room locked onto the pen in my pencil case. The homeroom teacher looked at me with bitter disappointment. The principal's face darkened like the bottom of a burnt pot. "I've heard rumors before about you being the top student in your grade, suspicions of cheating, but I didn't want to wrong an innocent child. You've actually dared to go this far." As soon as the words were spoken, a group of police officers restrained me and snatched away the pencil case in my hand. The experts with detection equipment had been waiting for this moment for a long time. While the experts were examining the cheating device, I stood there, being pointed at and whispered about by all the examinees leaving the test hall. Lisa was still crying. "Sis, you're being foolish." Mom and Dad pointed at me, their scolding growing increasingly harsh. At that moment, a reporter came over to interview my parents. "Excuse me, does this examinee often cheat in daily life as well?" Dad seemed to have finally found an outlet for his pent-up emotions. He roared at the camera, "This wretched girl has been wicked since childhood, full of lies and petty calculations. She'd always steal money from home when she was little, then turn around and blame her younger sister. We thought proper upbringing would eventually correct her. Who would have thought she'd dare to cheat during the college entrance exams?" Mother wiped her tears nearby, her voice choked with emotion. "Perhaps it's because her father and I were both too busy with work, neglecting her upbringing, that she developed this habit of cutting corners." Father abruptly cut Mother off. "What does this have to do with us elders, coming from the same family? Aren't her brother and sister both exemplary in character and academics? If it weren't for Lily noticing something was wrong and reminding us to call the police, she would have really gotten away with it this time." Lisa leaned against her mother's shoulder, sobbing uncontrollably. I got up to drink water that night and saw my sister fiddling with that pen in her room." As she spoke, she wiped away her tears, her eyes filled with concern for me. "Sister, don't be so stubborn anymore. Admitting your mistakes and correcting them still makes you a good child." All around were sighs of sympathy. Camera flashes converged on me, stinging my eyes painfully. The murmurs of surrounding examinees and their parents assaulted my ears. How disgusting. I actually share an exam hall with someone like this, daring to cheat. How utterly brazen. I strongly demand she be banned from taking exams for life. I remained calm nonetheless. As expected, Lisa wouldn't let it go. Seeing me so stubbornly unyielding, my parents grew even angrier. Dad charged straight at me and slapped me hard across the face. Blood trickled from the corner of my mouth, and the wound on my forehead split open again, a horrifying sight to behold. I stared fixedly at Father, my voice as cold as tempered ice. "Do you hate me that much?" Mom's lips trembled as she instinctively avoided my gaze. Dad grew even angrier and was about to charge at me again to continue beating me. Fortunately, the police officers managed to restrain Dad in time. Over there, the expert walked up to the officers with a detector, whispering something into the ear of the lead officer. The policeman widened his eyes in surprise and abruptly turned to look at me. Lisa keenly caught this glance, unable to suppress the upward curve of her lips. "Uncle Officer, my sister already knows she was wrong. She didn't cheat." The police officer spoke with conviction. "What?" Lisa thought she must have misheard. The experts who conducted the test stepped forward. "That's correct. This examinee did not cheat. This is just the most ordinary black ballpoint pen." Lisa froze completely. "Impossible. She must have cheated." Lisa's voice turned shrill. I smiled faintly. "Little sister, you seem rather disappointed." Now, many people were looking at Lisa with questioning eyes. Just then, Dad's phone rang. From the other end of the line came brother's distraught voice. "I've been caught cheating. Who switched my pen?" A faint smile tugged at the corner of my lips. Coincidentally, today was also the day my brother took the recruitment exam for a key government institution. When we arrived home, the living room had already been reduced to complete chaos by my brother's rampage. Hearing the commotion, my brother charged at me like a madman, his eyes bulging with rage. "Was it you? You vile wretch deliberately framed me." I met my brother's bloodshot eyes. My gaze as calm as stagnant water. "Why would I harm you? Have we ever had any enmity between us?" My brother grew even more furious upon hearing these words. He grabbed me by the collar, his gaze murderous. "Besides you, you little traitor, who else in this family has a problem with me? You just want to ruin me, ruin this family." Dad stared at me with searching eyes. Still seemingly dazed from the commotion at the college entrance exam hall, Mother rushed forward to pull my brother away. Seeing the blood oozing from my forehead and my swollen face, Mother's eyes showed hesitation for the first time. Lisa avoided eye contact, keeping her head down without daring to speak. My brother was still shouting like a mad dog. I turned my head, my mocking gaze lingering on Lisa. "Perhaps, little sister, you could give us an explanation." Lisa stiffened her neck. "I don't know what you're talking about." Then she stepped forward and shook her brother's arm. "Brother, calm down. At worst, you can always take the exam again later." These words choked my brother, leaving him unable to swallow his anger or spit it out. Helpless, he could only vent all his fury on me, the root cause of everything. Seeing that Mom couldn't stop him, my brother's fist was about to come crashing down. At the critical moment, I grabbed the high-heeled shoe my mother had just taken off and hurled it at him. "Ah!" A scream rang out. The air in the living room froze. The fury on my brother's face faded, replaced by shock and bewilderment. Mom and Dad were startled, looking at me as if I were insane. Lisa shrank back fearfully, hiding behind Mom. Meanwhile, I clutched the blood-stained high heels and advanced step by step toward my brother, enunciating each word deliberately. "I told you, it wasn't me, Jack. The one who harmed you, it was Lisa." Lisa suddenly looked up, her voice choked with emotion. "It wasn't me. How could I harm my own brother? Sister, why are you trying to drive a wedge between me and my brother?" She turned tearfully to our parents again, crying pitifully. "Mom, Dad, do you really believe sister's words too?" "Yes, I'm usually clumsy, but I don't have ill intentions. I know what's important. How could I ever harm brother?" I rolled my eyes at her. Here we go again. Same old story, and my dear family members, same old reactions. Mom blurted out, "Impossible. There's no way our little girl did this." Father frowned as he looked between me and Lisa. Brother Jack, after a brief moment of stunned silence, gritted his teeth and spat at me. "Pa, how dare you slander our little sister? Drive this bastard out of the house. She's an adult now anyway. Our family has no more obligation to raise her." Father looked at me, seemingly pondering the feasibility. Mother shook her head through her tears, gazing at me with deep sorrow in her eyes. Lisa kept twisting strands of her hair while looking down, pouting silently. That's just how she was. Whenever faced with an unfavorable situation, she'd clam up and play dumb. The corners of my mouth stretched into a wide grin. "What a pity, Lisa. I saw it that night." Lisa slowly raised her head, revealing an innocent and guileless smile. "Sister, must you really throw mud at me? Fine, since you insist on this. I can only admit it. As long as you're happy." I didn't speak, just unlocked my phone. A surveillance video appeared clearly before everyone's eyes. It was footage from the hidden camera I'd installed in the room. Since I've been reborn, it's impossible for me not to be wary of Lisa. This surveillance device was given to me by a very good friend. She always warned me to be careful of Lisa, but in my past life, I didn't fully wake up to reality until my death. Since childhood, I've been expected to be good to my younger sister and always given to her, so much so that in my past life, even when she drugged me with sleeping pills and made me miss an exam, I never truly held a grudge against her, believing it was unintentional. The surveillance footage clearly captured my sister sneaking into my room while I was using the bathroom at night. She took away the pen from my pencil case with an utterly ordinary-looking marker pen in her hand. Then she left with a sly and satisfied smile. For a moment, time seemed to stand still in the living room. Jack roared with reddened eyes. "It's you, it's really you." Jack was nearly consumed by rage, his rationality all but burned away. For this job, he had poured in so much effort and sacrifice. He'd even resigned from his prestigious corporate position after over a year of internship, devoting 2 full years to exam preparation. He was so close to success. This job was not only respectable but could also elevate his social status rapidly. He had staked all his time and energy on this high-stakes gamble, but now, everything was ruined. He was banned from exams for life, becoming a complete laughingstock. Her parents also stared in shock at their beloved youngest daughter whom they'd doted on since childhood. Lisa pouted her lips and spoke discontentedly. "Brother, how could you scold me? I was just trying to be kind. I was afraid sister wouldn't do well on the exam, so I specially spent a fortune to buy that lucky exam pen. I just wanted to help sister, who knew it wasn't allowed in the exam hall." As she spoke, she shot me an angry glare, and I only switched sister's pen. As for brothers, she left the sentence unfinished, instead giving me a meaningful look. Jack suddenly turned his head to look at me, his eyes so red they seemed about to drip blood. Mom unexpectedly shoved me and shouted, "You clearly knew what your sister had done, yet you deliberately gave the pen to your brother, you little beast." Dad was even more furious. Jack was indeed the root that could bring honor to their ancestors. Now this root had its path to ascension severed. At this thought, Father wished he could kill me right then and there. Lisa smiled at me, as if saying, "See, even if they knew it was me, no one would blame me." I remained silent and simply opened another surveillance video. In the video, Jack and I woke up at roughly the same time. When I went to brush my teeth and wash my face, I placed my pencil case on the dining table in the living room. Jack happened to be having breakfast and also casually set his pencil case down on the table. I shouldn't have admitted fault, but Lisa came. She bounced around as soon as she got up, accidentally knocking 2 pencil cases to the ground. 2 seemingly ordinary pens fell out simultaneously. Reading this, Jack remembered everything. He was the one who personally chose that cheating device, simply because the cheating device happened to roll right to his feet. Without much thought, he picked it up and put it in his pencil case. At that moment, he still couldn't resist taking a dig at me. "Hurry up and move your pencil case farther away." What terrible luck. By the end of the video, Jack's face had drained completely of color. Lisa pursed her lips and muttered under her breath, "So don't blame me, brother. You're the one who grabbed the wrong pen. It's your fault." As soon as the words were spoken, Jack suddenly lunged at Lisa, gripping her throat fiercely. "You bitch, you ruined me. Do you know how important this job was to me? You ruined me." The living room descended into chaos. I stood aside, watching coldly. Jack was dragged away by his father. Meanwhile, his mother held the sobbing Lisa tightly in her arms, murmuring, "My poor baby, my poor little girl." Jack was still raging. "Why are you stopping me? That beast ruined me. I'll kill her." Where was the slightest trace of his usual doting affection for Lisa in this frenzied state? Lisa was terrified, hiccuping incessantly through her sobs, looking as if she could barely catch her breath. Father's face darkened, just as Jack was about to charge at Lisa again. Father mustered all his strength and slapped him hard. "Had enough of your madness. It's just one exam. Do you really want to kill Lily?" A crisp slap rang out. The force was so strong that Jack staggered back 2 steps. Jack crashed into the fruit platter behind him. The fruit bowl shattered with a crash, just as his world abruptly collapsed around him. That slap brought Jack back to his senses somewhat. He stared blankly at his mother clutching Lisa protectively to her chest like a mother bear shielding her cub, and at his father glaring at him fiercely as if he were some unforgivable criminal. Jack's voice was terrifyingly hoarse. "Why are you so biased? Lisa is your child, but am I not? It was her who ruined me, and you still defend her." Mom and Dad frowned simultaneously, looking at their son as if he were a misbehaving child. I let out a mocking laugh. "Brother, you're being unreasonable here. Family harmony is most precious. Why must you nitpick over every little thing? Besides, little sister didn't do it on purpose. What ill intentions could she possibly harbor?" Jack turned to look at me blankly. His gaze met my eyes, calm as stagnant water. That single glance instantly pierced through his chaotic thoughts. These were all words he typically used to taunt me. Lisa was still pouting pitifully as she defended herself. "I really meant well. I saw people online saying this pen was amazing, so I thought, I'm just too naive and got tricked, that's all." Seeing her like this, Mother's heart ached terribly. My poor darling girl, she wouldn't even step on an ant since she was little. How could she possibly have any ill intentions? As the head of the household, Father had the final say. "This matter ends here. No one is to bring it up again." Jack was so furious that he stormed out of the house immediately. Lisa remained completely unaware of her own wrongdoing. To her, it was just a harmless little prank. Her brother actually blamed her. She decided she'd never speak to him again. After Jack left that day, he never returned home. As for me, I was busy with summer jobs all day and hardly ever home during daylight hours. Susie, being so thin-skinned, felt like she was being left out. To cheer her up, her mom decided to take time off work to accompany her to the amusement park. When I saw Susie's post on social media, my hand holding the phone couldn't stop trembling. Susie even eagerly called me, "Sister, are you coming to play with us?" "No, you all have fun." I struggled to suppress the hatred in my heart. Lisa looked somewhat disappointed. "Sis, you're not still mad at me, are you?" "I really didn't mean to. I just wanted to help you." "Help me?" So, exposing me later was also trying to help, I said sarcastically. Lisa snorted discontentedly with a touch of arrogance. So what? I later realized it wasn't proper and thought it unfair to other candidates, which is why I decided to expose you. Hearing this answer, I couldn't stop laughing. Lisa, this person really has her own airtight logic. Her greatest strength was this: the lies she told could deceive not only others, but even herself. At noon that day, a horrifying news story topped the trending searches. #drunk man stabs woman over a dozen times as she shields her daughter. At first, netizens praised the greatness of maternal love and condemned the drunkard's crime, until footage captured by a passerby went viral. In the video, Lisa still appeared meddlesome as ever. The drunkard bore a scar on his face, with a gleaming knife tucked ominously at his waist. Everyone kept their distance, even the security guards dared not approach recklessly. Only Lisa ignored her mother's attempts to stop her and insisted on confronting the drunkard, shouting accusations at him. "Don't you have any manners? You're completely wasted and reek of alcohol, and you're yelling like this. Didn't your mother teach you basic social etiquette? You're nothing but trash to society. You'd be better off dead." During this time, the security guard kept shouting at Lisa, ordering her to leave, but she stubbornly persisted. "What's there to fear? Cowards like him only bully the weak." Provoked, the drunkard drew a knife from his waist and lunged at her. At the critical moment, Lisa pulled her mother in front, taking several stabs meant for her, until her consciousness completely faded. Mother kept staring at Lisa in disbelief. Mother never expected Lisa would actually use her as a human shield, though Mother would indeed have given her life to protect Lisa. But this was different from being pushed out by Lisa. Even in this situation, Lisa was still mindlessly provoking the drunkard. "Stop it right now. If my mom dies, you'll regret it." The drunkard's face twisted ferociously as he raised his knife, trying to reach past Mom to stab Lisa. Lisa's face turned pale as she pushed her limp mother toward the drunkard with all her strength once more, then she ran away without looking back. It wasn't until armed police arrived and shot the drunkard dead, only then did Lisa, weeping, throw herself at her mother's side. "Mom, you can't be hurt. Don't blame me. You're my mother. Taking a knife from me is only natural." The video wasn't long, but it was enough to cause an uproar. The comments below were all hurling abuse at Lisa. "Holy shit, what a filial daughter, actually pushing her own mother to block the knife. Oh my god, this woman is so stupid. Why did she provoke that criminal? Can't watch anymore. The drunkard deserves to die, and so does this woman." That night, our entire family was summoned to the police station. In the morgue, Mother's body was covered in bloodstains, with horrifying wounds all over her face and body. Brother was so frightened his legs gave way, his eyes terrifyingly bloodshot. Father kept smoking one cigarette after another, his gaze dark and unreadable. I couldn't describe the turmoil in my heart. In the predetermined course of fate, it was supposed to be me lying here, covered in wounds. I survived, but Mom became Lisa's scapegoat in my place. Anyone who gets close to Lisa will meet misfortune. Lisa hid behind a policewoman, crying uncontrollably. "Daddy, brother, what should I do? I won't have a mother anymore." These words completely ignited Jack's fury. He rushed over abruptly and dragged Lisa out from behind the police officer. Jack's eyes were wide with rage. "You idiot, it's your fault Mom died. You pushed her out to take the knife. Why did you have to provoke that damned dog of a bastard? Why on earth would you do that?" Lisa struggled violently, stiffening her neck as she defended herself. "It wasn't me who stabbed Mom. Why are you blaming me? I was so scared that I hid behind Mom. I didn't mean to." Jack acted as if he'd heard the most ridiculous joke, laughing and crying simultaneously. He flung Lisa away with force, sneering, "What a fine, didn't mean to." Lisa slammed against the wall, grimacing in pain. Even the police just offered a few perfunctory words of comfort without intervening. Jack stared fixedly at Lisa, his eyes boiling with overwhelming hatred. "I must have been blind and foolish before, thinking you were just simple-minded and naive, always protecting you no matter what trouble you caused. Now I see you're truly malicious. a rotten seed cloaked in an angel's guise. Lisa seemed deeply stung by these words, casting a pleading look at father and me. I didn't intervene in these matters. Nor did father stand up to shield Lisa as he usually would. As he watched Lisa sobbing, his eyes still held tenderness and bewilderment, but what prevailed was unfamiliarity and estrangement. Everything that had happened during this period relentlessly showed him, the daughter he'd doted on since childhood wasn't as innocent as she appeared. His wife's death became an impassable chasm between him and Lisa. Father could no longer love Lisa with the same unreserved affection as before. Seeing that no one would help her, Lisa stamped her foot in displeasure. "Why are you blaming me? It wasn't intentional. Besides, she's my mother. She brought me into this world. Wasn't it her duty to take the knife for me? Even now, Lisa's utterly selfish nature hasn't diminished in the slightest." Even the police officers were looking at her strangely. Jack was nearly driven mad. If the police hadn't stopped him, he might have dragged Lisa down with him in mutual destruction. Dad's hand trembled as he held the cigarette. He couldn't understand how he'd raised such a cold-hearted monster. I kept watching the drama unfold with cold detachment. After Mom's funeral ended, Jack left again without saying goodbye. Before leaving, he gave me a deep look inside. Dad took me and Lisa back home. I was still busy with summer jobs all day long. As for Dad, he became very quiet after Mom's death. His occasional glances at Lisa carried complex emotions. There remained traces of affection, disappointment, and even resentment. Yet Lisa remained blissfully unaware, continuing her carefree ways. Her foolishness was never directed at any one person in particular. Anyone who gets close to her ends up getting hurt all over. A few days before university started, while I was busy with school registration, something unexpected finally happened at home. Lisa didn't dare get close to Jack or me anymore, so she could only cling to Dad. And naturally, Dad became the next victim. It turned out there had been an issue with an important project at Dad's company recently. The night before signing the contract with the other company, Lisa suddenly rushed into Dad's study. I had just returned from outside at that moment. With an innocent yet mischievous expression, Lisa said to Dad, "Dad, praise me quickly. I've organized all the documents on your desk for you." Dad froze, forcing a faint smile onto his face. "Lily is amazing," yet I frowned. Sure enough, something went wrong the next day. When Dad went to sign the contract, he discovered that many important documents in the folder had been scribbled on. There were also some so-called words of wisdom written on them, things like, "Be happy every day," and "Let's get rich together." The partners' faces turned green when they saw this. They rejected the collaboration, citing Dad's lack of professionalism, and permanently blacklist Dad's company from the industry. This partner happened to be the industry leader. Seeing this, other companies began questioning the professionalism of Dad's company. Many business partners directly demanded contract termination. The stock hit the limit down in an instant. Just like that, the company Dad had painstakingly built over decades was on the verge of bankruptcy overnight. Dad returned home looking utterly devastated. It was the first time Dad had ever truly lost his temper with Lisa. "Lisa, you jinx. Won't you be satisfied until you've ruined everyone?" "Dad, what are you saying? I just wanted to help you. I didn't mean to." Lisa shrank back in fear. Seeing me come out, she immediately hid behind me, stomping her feet indignantly. "It was your own carelessness, Dad. How was I supposed to know I couldn't just doodle anywhere? Why are you blaming me? You're all so horrible. You're all deliberately ganging up on me." Dad slammed the table in fury, stammering, you, without finishing his sentence. I snorted with laughter. "Dad, little sister is right. She meant no harm. She was just being kind. Don't be so petty. Harmony is precious in a family." Seeing me speak this way, Lisa nodded approvingly. Father spat out a mouthful of blood, clutching his chest as he gasped heavily. He could clearly detect the sarcasm dripping from my words. After all, these were things they had said to me before. Father could no longer tolerate it and slapped Lisa with all his strength. Lisa was completely stunned, staring blankly at Father. When she came to her senses, she burst into loud sobs. He shoved his father away violently and turned to run out of the house. Already exhausted both physically and mentally, his father lost his balance from the push and fell backward. The back of his head struck the corner of the solid wood table directly. A muffled groan escaped him. The person completely lost consciousness. The hospital worked through the entire night resuscitating them before finally wheeling them out. "I'm sorry, we managed to save the patient's life, but they've become vegetative." Jack's face instantly drained of color. He crouched on the ground in agony, letting out muffled sobs. This home was utterly destroyed. Lisa, who had run away from home overnight, arrived at this moment. She looked at her father on the hospital bed wearing a ventilator, her face showing not a trace of remorse. Is he not going to wake up? No way, he couldn't have been that fragile. I don't like the smell of hospital disinfectant. Let's go home. She reached out to take my hand. I brushed her hand away, my voice icy cold. Lisa, don't you feel even slightly at fault? What did I do wrong? Dad just had bad luck and lost his footing. It's not like I meant to. Lisa's defense was cut short as someone violently grabbed her by the throat. Jack loomed over her, his face twisted with fury. It wasn't on purpose. Again with this, you always say the same thing. What do you take us for, Lisa? What do you take us for? Lisa was genuinely frightened now. I was wrong, brother, sister, please spare me. Just before she suffocated, the police arrived and pulled Jack away. Lisa collapsed weakly to the ground, foul-smelling liquid flowing from her lower body. She was terrified. Jack had truly almost killed her moments ago. Seeing the police arrive, Lisa crawled over, her voice hoarse. He's trying to kill me. Arrest him, yet the police handcuffed her instead. The officer's expressions were stern. You've caused injury through negligence. Please come with us. Yes, I was the one who called the police. In the end, Lisa was sentenced to 10 years for causing serious injury through negligence. I heard that in court. She wept bitterly with remorse, begging me and Jack to save her, but none of us attended. I received an acceptance letter from the country's top university and set off for my new life. Jack sold our old family home, and we split the money equally. With his remaining share, he took his vegetative father to a rehabilitation hospital abroad. Before leaving, Jack sent me a message. I'm sorry, your future should be bright. I won't let father burden you. At that moment, I stood at the university gates. I stared at the screen, silent for a long time. 4 years later, I graduated. During that time, I received countless help letters from Lisa. I heard she was bullied by the prison's top dog inside, and even lost an eye. Lisa was tortured to the point of mental instability. Of course, I wouldn't be saintly enough to save her. This is what she deserves. She finally paid the rightful price for her unintentional actions. The grudges of my past life have been settled. I stand on the bustling street, breathing in the air of freedom and peace. After hearing the 2 stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.